The responses to my last video shocked even me. Over 1,000 comments from men over 60. And 95% of them said the same thing. They're happier, richer, and more at peace single than they ever were in relationships. But what really caught my attention weren't the men celebrating their freedom. It was the handful of married men admitting they envied the single guys. That tells me something profound is happening that society doesn't want to acknowledge. Men over 60 have reached a stage of life where female companionship has shifted from necessity to luxury. And when something becomes optional rather than essential, everything changes about how you approach it. My name is Dr. Avery Scott, and after analyzing hundreds of those comments plus my decade of counseling experience, I'm going to show you exactly why men over 60 have achieved something previous generations never could: complete independence from needing female validation, support, or companionship to live fulfilling lives. Now, this isn't an anti-woman message. As a woman myself, I could hardly be against my own gender. Women are incredible, but I have to be realistic here about what I've observed in my practice. Compatibility at this life stage comes with costs that most men are no longer willing to pay. And here's the first reason why that makes perfect sense. You've already built your identity. Think about it. By 60, you know who you are, what you value, what brings you peace, and what disrupts it. You're not looking for someone to help you figure out your career, your finances, your personality, or your life direction. You've done that work. So what exactly do you need a woman for that you can't provide for yourself? And that's where the modern reality becomes crystal clear. Most of the traditional reasons men needed women have been eliminated by technology, services, and life experience. You can cook, clean, manage a household, handle your social calendar, even get emotional support from friends and family. The practical necessities that drove relationships for centuries simply don't exist anymore. But here's where this gets really interesting. And this is something that shocked me when I started seeing the pattern. Men over 60 who stay single aren't just avoiding the complications of relationships. They're actively thriving in ways that partnered men can't. Financial freedom is just the beginning. My client, James from Dallas, calculated that being single saves him over $2,000 monthly compared to when he was married. Not just the obvious expenses, but the hidden costs: eating out more often, buying things to keep her happy, higher insurance rates, supporting her lifestyle choices. That's $24,000 annually that he's investing in his health, his hobbies, and his future, instead of subsidizing someone else's preferences. Now, here's the second revelation that married men hate to admit. Your time becomes genuinely your own. No negotiations about weekend plans. No compromise on vacation destinations. No guilt about spending Saturday working on your projects instead of attending her friend's birthday party. You wake up and decide how to spend your day based on what matters to you, not what keeps someone else happy. And this connects to something even more powerful: the elimination of relationship stress. No more walking on eggshells around someone's mood cycles. No more managing another person's emotions. No more relationship maintenance that feels like a part-time job. The peace that comes from not having to constantly consider how your choices affect someone else's feelings is something most partnered men have forgotten exists. But here's the revelation that surprised me most from those comments. Single men over 60 are becoming more attractive to women not less. When you stop chasing female attention, when you stop needing female validation, when you stop organizing your life around female preferences, something magnetic happens. Women start pursuing you because you represent something they can't control or predict. My client Robert from Phoenix told me, once I stopped dating actively and just focused on my woodworking business and fitness routine, women started approaching me everywhere. Coffee shops, grocery stores, even my neighbor started finding excuses to talk to me. The irony is incredible. The less I need them, the more they want to be around me. Now, here's where the psychology gets fascinating, and this explains why married men are watching these videos and questioning their choices. When you remove the pressure to maintain a relationship, you naturally become more confident, more decisive, more focused on your own goals. You stop seeking approval and start living authentically. That authentic confidence is what draws people to you, but it's also what makes you realize you don't need their attention to feel complete. If this is resonating so far, hit that subscribe button now, because what I'm about to reveal about the freedom paradox will explain why single men are outperforming partnered men in almost every measurable category. So here's what the data shows that nobody talks about. Single men over 60 have better mental health scores than their married counterparts in this age group. Lower anxiety, better sleep patterns, reduced stress markers, higher life satisfaction ratings. That's not opinion, that's measurable psychological health. And there's a specific reason why this is happening now that didn't apply to previous generations. Men over 60 today have resources and options that their fathers never had. Professional counseling, male support groups, fitness programs, hobby communities, travel opportunities, educational pursuits. You can build a rich, meaningful life without needing a romantic partner to provide emotional fulfillment or social connection. And here's the economic reality that changes everything. You're at peak earning power with minimal financial obligations. Your children are independent. Your mortgage is likely paid off. You've accumulated assets and experience. You don't need someone else's income or financial support. You can afford services for anything you can't or don't want to do yourself. Why complicate that independence with someone else's financial problems or spending habits? But perhaps most importantly, you've reached the age where you can distinguish between wanting companionship and needing companionship. Wanting someone in your life because they add genuine value is completely different from needing someone because you can't function alone. That distinction is what separates thriving single men from lonely single men. My client Michael from Denver put it perfectly. I spent 30 years in a marriage where I convinced myself I needed her. Now at 67, I realize I wanted the companionship, but I needed the peace more. I can get companionship from friends, family, and social activities, but I can only get peace from living on my own terms. Now, I want you to do something quickly. Drop a comment with the word freedom if you've discovered that single life suits you better than you expected, or truth if this video is confirming what you already knew, but society made you doubt. Moving on, here's the ultimate test of whether you're truly equipped for this independent life. Some men think they want to be single, but haven't developed the emotional strength, social connections, or life skills that make solo living genuinely fulfilling rather than just avoiding relationship problems. That's why I created the Living Alone checklist. It's not about convincing you to stay single. It's about ensuring that if you choose this path, you're building the kind of complete, satisfying life that makes a relationship optional rather than necessary. It evaluates your emotional independence, social connections, financial preparedness, health management, and personal growth trajectory. This assessment shows you exactly where you're thriving in single life and where you might be simply avoiding the challenges that relationships require. Because there's a massive difference between choosing to be single from a position of strength versus defaulting to single because relationships feel too difficult. The checklist is completely free and takes just minutes to complete, but it'll give you clarity about whether your single life is genuinely fulfilling or just comfortable avoidance. Link is in the comments below. Now, here's the beautiful truth that both single and partnered men need to understand. You don't need a woman to validate your worth, manage your emotions, organize your social life, or provide meaning to your existence. Those needs were programming from a different era when men had fewer options and less self-awareness. And if you really want to understand the specific ways modern relationships can drain your energy and resources, watch my video, How Modern Women Are Draining Older Men Unknowingly. It explains the psychological patterns that turn partnerships into management projects. And hey, subscribe and ring that notification bell because the response to this video is going to be massive. And you don't want to miss the community insights from men who've found freedom you might not have known was possible. And just before you leave, tell me your biggest revelation about single life after 50. What surprised you most about not needing a relationship to feel complete? Your experience might validate another man's choice or help someone make the right decision for their situation. I'll be waiting to read your experience in the comments section. Remember, needing a woman and wanting good female company are two completely different things. When you eliminate the need, you open up space for genuine choice. I'm Dr. Avery Scott, and your life belongs to you. Design it accordingly. Bye.